Hello, soul friends. This is Mary, and welcome back to my channel. Today's pick a card reading is going to be about how is this situation going to be resolved? How is this situation that you're in going to be resolved? Remember, no matter your individual beliefs, tarot or oracle reading is your spirit guides coming forward to give you advice, or just simply your subconscious mind helping you answer life's ponders. No matter how you look at that, it is healthy and you are in the right place. So we are just going to take a look at what your situation is, who's in the situation with you, and then find out how it will resolve. So we'll just take it nice and slow. Okay. All right, so group one, you have the clear quartz heart and the Fuath? Fouth? I don't know what he's called. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'll check it out before we go too far in. Group two, you got the mermaid and the raspberry heart. That's just what I decided to start calling it. If you've watched the last few videos, I'm like, I don't know what kind of rock that is. And then I'm finally just going to call it raspberry heart. Group three is the hydra. What a cute little hydra. So cute. And group four, your guess is as good as mine. Olgoy Korkoi. Looks like the worm from Beetlejuice. If you've ever seen Beetlejuice, let me know in the comment section. I'm getting really lonely out here that I'm not collecting any film buffs out there. All right. Go ahead and pause if you need, and we will see you in your individual readings. Bye. Hello, group one. So if you picked the clear quartz heart, let's go ahead and look at your cards. You have a water symbol, I believe. Is it earth or water? Now I can't remember. Dang it. Hang on. Okay, so I also looked at the pronunciation of this. It's a fua, which is an old Irish monster that signifies hate, horror, and it represents pure malice. And this is a water symbol. So interesting. Some of you might be water signs. Some of you might be dealing with somebody who's a water sign, or in a situation with somebody who is a water sign. Malice, like pure malice. Interesting. So a fua, I'm looking it up right here on Google. Thank you, Google. It's a sea monster or a river monster, and it likes to hang out at night. It's scared of sunlight and cold steel, which can instantly kill them or turn them into like jelly. Ew. They're sometimes confused with kelpies, or I'm not even going to say that one because I'll say it wrong. Or other sea monsters, probably. They are known to drag swimmers underwater and drown them. And they can sometimes shapeshift to trick humans. So it feels like you've been dealing with some kind of a yucky person. Like, what do you want to call a dissenter or destroyer or a poo-poo stirrer. You know the type. That definitely feels like something coming through for some of you. So let's go ahead and look at... we're going to keep that for you when we get into your tarot. But I want to look at who all is involved in this. Okay, I've got 3 cards right here. I want a card that represents you in this situation as well. Thank you. This might just be more information on the situation, or it could be like that other person. Hard to say. I'm not sure why 2 came out there, but I've got a weird feeling about it. Okay. We're going to take a look at those before we get into some tarot. Messy. Okay. So let's take a look at you. We have Dream Maker. And Dreams. Okay. So these are both you. Dream Maker and Dreams. Okay, so one of the things I'm getting with you about this person or this situation is that you've been giving a lot. You've been the one trying to build this dream, build a home, build something with someone that's always on your mind. I'm feeling some romance vibes. You got this little ship that you're like, I've got like the 2 and 3 of Wands vibes, like waiting for your ship to come into the harbor, waiting for life to start, waiting to build something with someone. And I suppose if you are in this group because you're looking at a work situation and the work situation is dealing with a fua who is like wrecking your dreams in some way, that would probably apply. Does that make sense? Like if you feel like somebody's wrecking your dreams in some way, you're in the right place, whether it's romantic, platonic, professional, or personal. Okay. These puas or fuas, sorry, are very dangerous. So maybe this person you're dealing with is also a water sign, or they're a water sign and you're not, or whatever. They don't have to be. Just general reading, little confirmations to let you know you're in the right place or not. Like creating a dream. I feel like some of you are creating this dream of like a place where you work, and that's wrecking your dream. Others, I feel like you were building a dream of like a life, like a domestic life, like a romantic life, you know the type. A family, whatever. Maybe you were building a business with someone that was a romantic partner or just a very close partner in some way, and something happened there. There's a lot of, just pure malice. And I think that whatever has happened, they've done you so dirty that like you have malice in your heart for them because like what they did was so malicious towards you. So sorry, group 1. Yucky stuff. Let's look at who was involved. Honey. So I feel like this is the culprit. This is our fua. Because they sting. They seem sweet, but then they stung you. Crystal visions. Oh, and fix you. I feel for some of you, this is your children. I feel for others, these are people who are involved in the business in some way. And one of them is a fixer, and the other one has very bright visions. These are good people that are involved, which also raises that malice feeling for you of like, you villain, right? You absolute bad guy of a person. I'm so sorry. That feels ouchy and such. All right, well, let's get into some tarot and find out some more detail and some advice. I'm trying to decide if I need to pause. Sorry, I have a sniffly nose and I'm having a hard time dealing with it. And then I dropped your card. No, really far away. Hang on. All right, here we go. So tarot is starting now. We have 6 of Wands. Okay. The 6 of Wands is making me realize that there was a jealousy issue with some of you with this person, and especially like the work people, that they sabotaged you or tried to sabotage you or are trying to excuse me, or are trying to sabotage you. Sorry, I've got a really big air bubble in my chest and it might come out. I apologize. Or trying to sabotage you on the regular. Hmm. Yeah, like jealous of your, the attention you're getting. Some of you who have children, this person is sort of like your ex or soon to be your ex, or something's going on. And oh, I'm also hearing family and friend situation. Like this was a friend and it's affected like your family or your other friends, or vice versa. This was a family member and it's affecting some of your wonderful friends or some of your wonderful family members. Oof. Okay, what else? But in any event, it's like I feel like if it's a family or a friend situation, they have been, ever since you've had this split up or you figured out how malicious they are, they have been trying to like get all the attention on them and make themselves look great and make everybody else that doesn't agree with them look bad and blah, 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 blah. This one person got really hurt and it's not even you. And I feel like that has made you even more angry. And like, they're not even as angry as you are. You're like angry for them because they like don't have the energy or the sense to be angry for themselves. Look how beat up they got. And they're only like starting to see half of the picture. And they want to fix everything. And this other person had good visions as well. And like, I think this person fooled them and is still fooling them to a certain degree and getting their attention. Okay. Pulling attention away from you or trying to, etc. Okay, let's put that over there and get some more tarot here for you guys. So Spirit, help us figure out how this situation will be resolved. Because I'm feeling a lot of meddling, like meddling in legal affairs, meddling in like HR affairs. You know what I mean? Like recruiting team members for themselves, that kind of stuff. Just got a vision of a show I was watching where like the husband knew the chick was going to divorce him, so he like talked to all the lawyers in this area so that they couldn't represent her, stuff like that. Okay. So let's see how this will resolve. How will this situation resolve, Spirit? The Emperor. The Nine of Swords. The Knight of Pentacles. The Moon. The Seven of Pentacles. And the Eight of Wands. Okay, okay. I'm going to set that over there for now. Okay, so what I'm seeing here, I saw scenarios coming through as we were doing this. Some of you, if this is a legal situation, are going to have a wonderful judge who is going to see right through this malicious person and to help the situation very well. Others, there's going to be like some kind of a boss or overseer, or somebody who realizes the scope and seriousness and ridiculousness of the situation. Your guides are showing that during this time you are going to have, some pressure in your mind and heart, anxiety in your mind. Okay, but they're saying that even on the days where you feel like you're not moving, you are moving forward. You're just moving slower than you would like to be. This card kind of represents that as well, taking it one day at a time, waiting, to serve your revenge when it's cold, if that's something that's coming up for you. And then Eight of Wands is saying that things will change rapidly and wonderfully and that everything will be okay. And so that's a very good indicator that somehow with this Emperor and this Eight of Wands, that like something's going to come in and you're in the right spot. It's a slow moving process, and that's why it feels very legal for a lot of you. And or work related. Work related is like, HR and meetings, and you have to wait weeks for everybody to be there to do what the meeting needs and all this other stupid crap. So anyway, some waiting going on, anxiety builds while that time is happening, but your guys are saying to have faith that you're moving in the right direction, that things are going to turn out okay for you. That it will happen quickly once it does start happening. It will be like a fast all of a sudden it's over. It's like encompassing your whole life, and then bam, it's over and everything is resolved. This card, I believe, is for you as well. Group 1, we have, yeah. Oh, how nice. The 6 of Cups. So, like, I feel like someone's going to come in to help you. This might be somebody connected to your past. It doesn't have to be. But, yeah, you're going to get the help that you need to fight this person. So, whether this is an ex that's going into legal territory with your children, whether it's a work situation where other people are getting involved in your livelihood, your guys are... Sorry, we just had a call. So anyway, you're in the right vicinity. You're moving ahead just fine. You're doing okay. You're making the right decisions, etc. and so forth. Let me just see for some extra confirmation. Let's find out what some more details about your situations are. So we have some legal and some divorce, some ex vibes. I just want to see if there's any like sharper details that we can get as we move forward here, just for some Easter eggs. I hear the name Thomas. Some of you look like this person in this card. Some of you feel like the person in this card. This Page of Swords is like kind of like somebody that's always trying, always being vigilant, and sometimes always having to be the one to speak. And like some of you are feeling that way at this point. That you tried so hard and like now you're being punished for trying so hard. You know, that kind of energy. The Fool. Some of you have blonde hair. Some of you like feathers. Some of you have a pet snake, or your ex-person has a pet snake. Or there's a snake decor in your place of work for some reason. You might be also wanting to look at group 2 who got the Hydra, which is like a multi-headed little snake. Maybe you just really like snakes. Nudity. We have the Queen of Cups. Some of you, again, we got that water sign. Some of you might have eyes in your jewelry. Some of you might wear pink eyeshadow, which is a bold choice, but I totally love it. I especially love it when you put it around your eyes like that. Reminds me of something from back in the like early 90s or 80s. Some kind of like hot lady on TV or a movie that I was watching. All right, I'm going to put this Queen of Cups over here so you don't see these little mermaids as much. Okay, then what else do we have? Some of you might have crown jewelry or like crown princessy kind of things around your room. I know those are swords, but some of you might bowl. Other details, Spirit, just to let people know they were in the right group. Some of you might have an anatomical heart tattoo. Some of you might know martial arts. I'm hearing the name Timothy. Some of you might like ravens, Egyptian things. Some of you might be Egyptian or Egyptian descent. Some of you might have that kind of jewelry, that kind of decor. Some of you might really be into ravens. Some of you might be Norse or Celtic. In your... I'm also picking up some India vibes. Some of you who have kids, your kids' favorite color is white, which is like, you know, some people are like, that's not a color or whatever, but they like it the best. White cats. You might have been drawn to the video because of the white cats and you thought maybe your kid would like the white cats. Maybe your favorite color is white color. I think Spirit. I almost just heard another name. I heard Timothy again. And hey, that can be like your ex, that can be somebody involved, like one of the kids, that could be your name, that could be a guide of yours saying that they're here for you. Okay. Barrett. Monica. Prost? Prost? Prost. Isn't that like a German toast? You say Prost when you toast. So some of you might be German, maybe. Some of you just might have a different kind of sounding name and I'm butchering it. You know how that goes. Flower. I don't know why the word flower is coming up. Maybe somebody's name is Flower. Timothy. My gosh. Okay, Timothy, we have heard that name. Okay. Now it's just going Timothy. So Timothy is a thing. Let me know what the Timothy connection is for any of you. Very important, or any of the connections. All right, anything else, folks? Can we get some details on how the situation will resolve? You say somebody's going to come in to help, but can you get some more details on how or who? Four of Cups. It's going to be something you don't expect, of course. Of course. That's one of those faith things, I think. They're like, it will work out. How? We're not telling you. Yeah, the Three of Wands, like getting what you've been waiting for. Like maybe you've been waiting for somebody to get involved and they haven't yet, and then they do. Or maybe you've been waiting for a certain document or a certain amount of information to come forward, and then it does. We did talk about like a good judge, a good boss coming in, or somebody in charge stepping in and doing the right thing and helping. Excellent. Happy endings, finding a home, being rewarded, good times lasting a long time. Okay, so that's the resolve energy, the resolution energy, sorry. And with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and leave you. And this is something I never say to the group ones. Every time I do readings, I'll be doing other groups and I'll be like, oh my gosh, you should watch group 1. You should watch group 2. You should watch group 3. Hey, maybe go watch group 4. Who knows? All right. Sorry, let's say goodbye real quick. Maybe not. Okay, never mind. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, group 2. So if you picked the raspberry heart or the mermaid here, you picked the commitment card. So some of you are here for romance, maybe. Super gross, you guys. Some of you want commitment, and then some of you are here because somebody, like an ex of yours, is like with someone else and you don't want them to be committed to the person that they are currently with. Okay, there might be developing stages of commitment between exes and new people that they are with. I don't think we'll split hairs too much there unless the information comes out that we do. So first off, before we get into your tarot, we are going to look at your situations and the people involved in them, as well as who you are and where you stand and what you feel is going on in this situation as well. So let's get you first. Spirit, can you show me group number 2? All right, they gave group 1 2 cards as well, and both of them ended up representing, they might as well have been the same card. Can you show me whoever's involved in their situation? It might not just be one person. Okay, any others involved in this situation? Wow, okay. I'm not sure who the front runner is in this situation either. So we'll just put them in a stack right here and we will get into who you are and who this person, these pieces are, who are involved in this situation. Oh my goodness, okay. Let's look at you first. We have village. I hear that term, it takes a village. I feel like some of you live in very close quarters. Like I see like a big high-rise building. maybe someplace where there's like a lot of neighbors, people who live very close together, even if they're not family. You become kind of like a little town, but like you're living right on top of each other. Some of you could be in a little town. Some of you could be working in a place where like everybody works a lot of long hours, so you're there together all the time. Hospitals, schools, police stations, courthouses, office buildings, anywhere where there's overtime, right? And I'm getting from you that you just want to build a life. You just want to build a home. You want to build a structure. You might be attracted to group number 1 as well. Twin souls. Some of you are looking for your soulmate and you just want to get married. You want to settle down. If you find that your person has been awful, oh, hang on. We have about 20 minutes before that thing beeps at us again. Okay, so anywho, yeah, you want your soulmate, you want to get married, you want, if it's business and like you want like a commitment of something at work, you know, like commitment of making things better, commitment of keeping you on, commitment of getting rid of people who aren't pulling their weight or making sure that they get better, those kinds of energies. If you're in like an area where you're all like kind of living on top of each other, it could be something along the lines of wanting the neighborhood to be better, wanting the town to be better, wanting things to be, you know, more rules followed, less rules followed, more unity, less unity, whatever it is that you want from them. So 2 different kinds of people here, but somebody that was trying to build a home and wanted that commitment from either your workplace, your community, or your partner. So let's go ahead and look at who is involved in this situation. We have dance. I'm going to lay these all out before I say anything, because otherwise I'll get all caught up. Ooh, soul captain. The twin souls over here. Interesting. Fix you. This kitty cat's showing up a lot in my readings. They also showed up in group 1. Entwined. And echo, echo. I just got so exhausted, and I feel like it's like you are exhausted as well by the situation, by how things are being handled. Sorry, I'm trying to get more room to see without you seeing like the background of my awful messy house. Okay. So let's start with, I'm gonna put Soul Captain over here next to the Twin Souls just because he's, oh, sorry, that's the Fix You card. Oh, did I do that by accident or was there a message there? I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And then it went here, here, here. We gotta overlap. Sorry, guys. All right. Alrighty. So, I first mentioned some of you might be water signs. Some of the people involved might be water signs. Just to help out with this mermaid energy, it's a water sign card. Okay. So those of you that wanted your soulmate, it's like you had your person was like your soul captain, your twin flame, your person that you thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with, right? We do have the commitment card here. The people involved seem very much copacetic with the situation. I have the Fix You, the person maybe wants to fix everything. We have the person who wants to be in charge of the dancing or something at the wedding, or just like or wants everybody to have a good time. We have the echo person that talks and repeats over and over again. And then we have like this entwined card, which to me feels again like kind of confirmation that the bond between you is going to be okay, that the commitment between you is going to be good. Okay. some of you that don't want the commitment between the two other people. Let's talk about you real quick. You guys feel like this person is like your twin flame and they're like going off with somebody else. We'll get to the work people and the high-rise community people here in a second. Let's get the icky love stuff out of the way first. Okay. Okay, so you feel like that's your twin flame. You feel like that's like the person you were going to spend the rest of your life with. You were going to build a whole village together, have babies, etc. Maybe you did have babies, etc. and so forth. And now they've moved on, and like it feels like they are pretty committed to this other person. Like, I'm sorry to give you the news. Like, it feels like, yes, they could get married. I feel like some of them might have just gotten engaged, and that's why you're watching this video, is to see if they keep on keeping on. I'm going to try to find some details out about them so you know for sure you're in the right group. And if this is the right message for you, remember you're never bound to any prediction. You don't ever have to claim it as your destiny or whatever. But if you already know these people are together, like it looks like they're pretty entwined. And like you've seen it echoed through and through and through. People want you to be okay with it. There's somebody that wants to help fix it for you or make you feel like it's okay. That might be that other person that's with your other person now. And somebody else wants you just to be happy for them, and it's like, you're like not. And so that's, yeah, definitely a hard road to be on. So I totally understand. We are going to get more cards for you on the individual situations as soon as we get to the other people. All right, other people, there were some that were here for work. You thought you were building a partnership of some kind, and you want work to commit to some sort of bettering of some sort. And work can be replaced with school. Always remember that. Whatever you spend your days doing, the obligations you have to do. If you volunteer a lot, if you're in projects, if you don't work and you do all those other things, that could be replaced in there. All right, so anyway, it's like you want them to commit to something better. You want them to see eye to eye with you on something and to see that this needs to be fixed or this needs to be better or we deserve this, we deserve that. And it actually doesn't look too bad for the people at work. It looks like, you've got a plethora of personalities. We have the dance person, the fix you person, the echo, and the entwined. That makes me feel like at least somebody is in your corner. And then these three are just like people that are kind of generally annoying you right now because they kind of don't help. Like, you have the fixer, helpy helperton person that doesn't ever really actually help, right? They kind of complicate things more is what it feels like. And then we have like the just wants to have fun person and the person that just repeats themselves and doesn't really make any progress. To be continued. Okay, so the work people, we've got like 4 minutes before we get beeped at again. I lied. Okay, sorry about that, group 2. That went, I had like long calls last night, and by the time it was all done, it was so dark, I was like, I can't even try this anymore. But now I'm looking at this screen, it also looks dark, so let me go fix this real quick. So yeah, with the work thing, like to me, like I feel like some things will change and some things will not change. It depends. We're gonna have to get some tarot on that to confirm. Okay, those of you that live in a community, it's kind of the same, energies that I'm getting with the workplace. It's like you want it to be this, what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that, and there's like this, like, I forget where it is. I just saw a YouTube video on it the other day of this like high-rise building or something along those lines, and it's out in the middle of freaking nowhere. And everybody that lives there, they all live in the same building. There's like a restaurant they all eat at. There's like, and they're like, it's pretty intense, but, if you're one of the few lucky people who get to live there, it's like really amazing. And I'm like, I don't know. I suppose if the people were really cool and had different ideas about what being cool is, I don't know. I ran into some like horrible situations with just apartment complex neighbors. I just can't even imagine. So anyway, whatever the situation is, it's like tight knit, like you're a village. It could be like, I'm also thinking of places where you work in a remote place that's like so remote that you kind of are in the same living kind of situation. You're all stuck together, you know? Or maybe you're just living in really close quarters with people and it feels like that. And I'm just like picking up like the most extreme scenarios that my brain can muster as far as communal living goes. Maybe you're just not used to it, sort of like I'm not used to it, especially with like a home living situation. I was really used to working with people and it sucked for me. But having a bunch of people in my home would be hard because that's not something I've ever had be a thing. Even in college, we didn't have like a ton of people at our house all the time. We had people over, you know, but like not, you know, and it's gotten even less since then. So like maybe some of you just aren't used to communal living. But in any event, it's like you were hoping for this like village. When you got there, you thought that you were finding a bunch of kindred spirits, that you were all gonna like, you know, that you were all meant to be together. And, you know, there was this like soul tribe feeling about the place. And so when little things happen that are not so communal and nice, it feels sort of disappointing and it feels like threatening in a way. You've got your people here. And again, I've got that same kind of idea, other than like this one is very entwined with you. And I feel like there might even be like some romance there for that group. But it's like you just have like the people that, you know, they're just going to be who they are and they're not going to change. And, you know, the fixer, the person that repeats themselves, the person who connects with you, and the person that just wants to have fun, you know, those types of issues are cropping up. What's the situation, I wonder? Besides just living close together. I mean, like it feels like drama. Like it feels like whenever something happens and it bothers you, you bring it up, and then drama happens. It doesn't work out the way you want it to. Something along those lines. Okay. And I get it. It's hard when you're sharing space. Like I just, I tell people all the time, if you're living in a communal space or working in a communal space and the people around you are starting to drive you nuts, and I'm not saying these guys are all driving you nuts yet. It just feels like every little thing that happens that's not good kind of drives you nuts. That's what it feels like. But when you're around people that do kind of drive you nuts, or they start to, or you're in a situation where like no matter how good you get along, you're going to end up driving each other nuts because you're living on top of each other. It's good to examine yourself in those situations, even though I don't like to examine myself because I don't like to find character defects, but to sort of like, that bothered me. I am bothered, you know, and like before you react to things, you kind of sit and talk to yourself a little bit like, why am I bothered? Why did that bother me so much? What is it about me that bothered me so much? Instead of being like, what the heck is wrong with them, right? And I'm not saying that this is all your fault. I'm just saying that it helps. It helps with that processing, and it keeps things from getting out of hand when you do live in close quarters so that you don't like cause damage, you know, or, you know, drama, you know, happens. Yes. Okay. So we had the romance, the work, and the communal living. I think, yes. And with the, sorry, I'm just reminding myself. I know that this all just happened for you guys. For me, it was hours and hours ago, darling. So yeah, before that it was like somebody who wanted a commitment, and then somebody who knows that their ex is kind of committing to somebody else and they don't want them to. Yes, I remember now. Okay. So now let's get, I'm like, I want some tarot to understand the situation more. And that's what I did with group one. And then I forgot to get their little word cards here. Don't tell them. Maybe I'll forget with you too. Okay, let's look and see here. I want to look at the people who are in romance spirit. Those who are with the person that they want commitment from. Just give me some clarifiers for them. I feel like it's going to be pretty straightforward because they got good news. Yeah. There's going to be a time period of, I don't know if you're on your honeymoon. It feels very honeymoony. Maybe you're just like one of those like permanent honeymoon people. Gross. Even though I'm one of those people too, I still think it's gross when other people do it. So anyway, I feel like they're going to do something soon that's going to make you feel like the center of attention. I'm seeing these pearls and this little brooch here. Like maybe they're going to get you a present here pretty soon. What is the situation that they're in? Why did they watch this video in the first place? Were they just worried? Yeah, it feels like things are going well and you're just kind of worried that the other shoe is going to drop, or, you know, yeah, that the other shoe is going to drop, or that this person isn't as great as you think they are. That they seem like almost perfect, right? But you're not sure. Yeah, do they cheat? Do they have a secret life? Is there something going on? You know, that kind of thing. Well, let's just double check and see. Spirit. Hello. Sorry, it's going to focus in on my thumb and not the pendulum. Is this person cheating on group 1? Okay, that's a no. Okay. Just to get that out of the way. I feel like a lot of anxiety, and I feel like it's not because you're a bad person or even an anxious person. It's just because you're so happy with that person that you get anxious that something bad is going to happen. So Spirit, show them, besides them being the center of attention and getting presents, what else is going to happen for them? Communication. Pet pregnancy for some, abundance for others, abundant pregnancies for some. But still worrying. Okay, well, you can worry if you want to, those of you who are in a relationship with somebody that you want commitment from. But as far as I can see, you know, things are going well and should continue to do so. Yeah, overcoming challenges together, all of that. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next ones. No, hang on. Okay, so, okay, I get it. So the situation is you're worried about them, the other shoe dropping, you're worried about something going wrong, them hurting you, that kind of deal. How will the situation resolve? Yeah, you got to let it go. You got to let it go and recognize what you have. I mean, like, I don't know how else to say it. Like, if you sit and worry about trouble finding you, trouble does eventually find you. And I'm not saying you bring it on by worrying about it. I'm just saying trouble finds everybody. And if you're sitting there worried about it all the time, then it's like you were worried about trouble the whole time. And then trouble shows up and you're like, no, trouble again. You know, it's hard, you know, and I worry too. I'm working on how to make it happen. One of the things or techniques that I use to help is I make myself sit down, and my brain doesn't want to do it. It's like when you try to do a clockwise circle with your foot and then draw the number 6, you can't do it. One or the other will start to try to go the other way, okay? It's because your brain is grooved, okay, to go a certain way, but it can create new grooves and new pathways. And so if you are grooved towards worrying, what I've learned through psychological experiences is that you can sit there and picture the good thing happening instead of picturing the worst thing happening. Make sure to sit and picture the good thing happening and end on that. Even if it feels unrealistic, even if you know it's not possible, do it anyway. It helps fix your brain. And it also helps you let go when there really is nothing to be worried about. You can actually enjoy yourself. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the people who have an ex who is sort of committing to somebody else, is what it looks like. What kind of advice do your guides have for them? Yeah, you just have such a candle in your heart for this person still, that it's really hard to move on, and like this person seems to be moving on. Okay. With this other person. And so like sitting and waiting and hoping they're going to break up so that maybe there's hope for you again is really like a huge waste of time for you and a huge waste of energy. And you can take that for how it's worth. Like if you're not ready, you're not ready. I respect that. I've been like that with people where I knew, like there was one time I knew I was getting cheated on, or that I had at least been cheated on. And, this was back in like my younger years, and all my little girlfriends were around me and like, he doesn't even care about you, blah, 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 blah. And I finally just started crying in the middle of my stupid chicken noodle soup I was eating. I mean, it was like canned. It was bad. And I was like, started crying in the middle of that sad little meal and was like, I can't. I know you're right. Everything you're saying is true, but I can't. And then I cried and cried and cried. And they were all like, oh my God, we're sorry. They all rallied around me, and it was very sad. So I've been there. I understand. Like there's not a place that a person can get you to where you're going to be okay. Okay. But you need to start looking like towards your future. If somebody isn't with you, it's because there's a reason. And I know that like you might have been soulmates before. It might have felt so real, etc. and so forth. It could have been. Everybody has free will and has the right to change. So like if my partner of 26 years tomorrow decides to run off with some 20-year-old or whatever, like there's nothing I can do to stop that from happening. Does that make sense? Like I can sit and worry about it, even though I don't see that coming, Now if I saw like behaviors or like, people or incidences or whatever that were like, what is going on over there? I would talk to him, of course, and try to work it out. But I can't like stop him from doing something that's going to hurt me. I can't make it happen. And I can't make him come back to me if he decides to leave. Contrarily wise, he's in the same boat with me. If I decide to like run off with some 20-year-old, yeah, that's right. I'm going to be one of those players. I'm going to get a sports car too. And, hurt him. He can't prevent that from happening. He can't foresee it all the way to prevent it, And so I know that's like not like at all what you want to hear, but it's the truth. Like if somebody moves on from you, then you need to like work to move on from them. And here's the other thing that kills me about romance is so many people just being so secure and not secure, but so okay and resigned. That's the word I'm looking at. Resigned to being a secondary character in their own life. You're not a full character without that person. You're not the star of the show unless that person's with you. You're the star of your show no matter what. So if you're watching a movie and the main character, or you're reading a book, or you're watching a show, and the main character gets dumped, you don't just dump that main character and go off somewhere else, right? You stay with them. You watch what else they do because they're the main character. Start being a main character in your own life. Secondary characters are going to come in and go. And I don't care if they're a romantic character or not. And I know that sounds harsh and boohoo, and I'm sorry, and there's somebody out there for everybody. And like, I do believe all those things. Like I do. I found that person. I believe that. But if I sit around and worry all the time, which I did for years and years and years, and cause damage to my own relationship, if I sit and worry, not to mention damage to my own psyche because I worried all these little grooves in my brain, now I got to re-groove my brain. If I would have just let go and be happy, nothing happened back then. Oh my gosh, look, I could have just enjoyed myself. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's a thing. And I'm not saying that it's something, I also get really irritated at people who are like, hey, if you've got anxiety or PTSD or whatever, you should just like stop, dude. Just let it go. And I realized like nobody's out there hanging on to that stuff because we want to, or because like it feels good, or because we have a choice, right? Or it feels like we have a choice. But there are ways to heal, and you have to, part of it is shifting your narrative towards yourself. Like, what is it about you that makes you so unworthy of being a main character that somebody else has to be in your scene with you for you to matter? Okay, I'm going to stop lecturing there. Okay. How will this situation resolve for you? You will move on. You will find the person that's meant for you. But if you sit and pine and wait for them to break up and hope and pray that something bad happens to their relationship and they find their way back to you even years from now and that'll be worth it, yikes, that's a big risk. You could be waiting forever. So how does this get resolved? You let it go. I know you don't know how. So sit down and get into a quiet, grounded place, and that might be really hard to do right now. You might be climbing a wall because you want this person back so badly. Run around until you get tired and then sit down. Or cry yourself to the point where you're about ready to go to sleep and then say in those quiet, still moments, I need my energy back from you, and imagine white light coming up from that person's head, coming back over to you. Okay? Feeling any parts in your body that you feel tension. If you don't feel tension, let it come into the top of your head. Just picture it. Picturing it is enough. Picturing it will do enough to make it happen, to make some sort of like shift in you that feels better. Okay? Because it's a miserable feeling. It just drains you. Every time you're thinking about that person, your energy is just hemorrhaging out to them. And that's how you resolve that situation. Okay? I know I'm not trying to be cold. It's just a matter of like, it's like being an ER doctor and watching people scream and suffer, and you know that it's not doing them any good, right? Actually, screaming helps. Go scream. Screaming helps. If you scream, like for somebody that gets tattoos, scream during an entire tattoo. The people at the shop will love you for it. And then the next tattoo, don't scream. And see how you remember the pain from each one. So maybe scream a little. Yeah. But it's this idea of like, you watch people suffer enough, you know, it's like watching kids play, you know, they're going to fall and hurt themselves. And especially if they do that, right? And they just do it. And there's no way to save them from it, right? Okay. Let's look at the work people, work stuff. Okay, I'm going to lace them out before I get too far along. Oh, geez. Okay, this is getting complicated already. Those of you that had the romance stuff, stick around because we have more messages for you. And sometimes these things will stick out to you and you'll be like, I know what that means, even though I don't catch it. So stick around. There's going to be more for you. Work people, very complicated situations. But it looks like it's going to work out. Okay. I'm feeling that some of you are like somebody who really cares about truth. And you're sick and tired of certain people not being truthful, certain rules not being followed, cutting corners, doing things that are actually to the detriment of the company, etc. and so forth. And it makes you fearful for the future. Some of you are worried that, and are fearful for the future because there's something, that truth that might come out about you maybe, or about a situation you were involved in that you're worried will hurt you if it comes out. Your guides are saying not to worry. The help that you need is coming, or you're going to find the help yourself. They're saying to relax and trust in your spirit, your creator, okay? Fast, wonderful change is on the way. You just need to be patient. You need to wait for the right time. Try not to go off half-cocked, I'm hearing. Like, don't go storming into any offices and being like, we have to, kind of thing. Keep it cool, be patient, and abundance and joy is coming your way. So that's looking positive for the work people as well. Lots of different situations. I don't want to get too mired down because I'm also going to get into like some of these and then some name channeling and whatnot. I just heard the name Marshall. See, they're already trying. Okay. It's like something being help coming in, or like the right idea, the right solution, the right like swooping in. You just have to be patient while you wait. That's the solution that I'm seeing, or the resolution that I'm seeing. Okay, let's move on to the communal living people. Man, I hope you guys tell me in the comments what your situation is. I want details. I want the tea. Okay, so you just got the Ace of Hearts. I'm not going to go pick it up because you just saw it 2 seconds ago. I'll waste more time. Okay. Communal living people. How is their situation going to be resolved? Have faith, you guys are saying. Yeah, the abundance card is down there on the floor, which is okay. 7 of Swords. The Hermit. 3 of Cups. Interesting. And the Emperor. Okay, so what your guides are saying is like to kind of shift your perspective. You could also, maybe in some cases, maybe not all. I love when people are like, you can leave. I'm like, can I, Rebecca? Can I leave? As a matter of fact, I cannot leave, Rebecca, because my mortgage is blah, blah, blah. And I'm never going to find that over blah, blah, blah. Right? So no, I can't leave. I don't know who that was for, but somebody can't leave. Maybe somebody can, but somebody cannot. We are not talking to you. Okay. Just a confirmation. Some of you look great in shorts, just so you know. And some of you have a really fun, funky style. Or unique style of some kind. Maybe funky is the wrong word. But anyway, your guides are kind of showing that if you're stuck there, if you leave, you can just leave and take off and go live out, go find a nice little place where you have no neighbors and, the 3 of Cups hanging out with everybody's in the past and you're your own person. I am getting that vibe for some of you that could leave, okay? And the Fool card would be an indication of like, take that leap of faith and be selfish. Don't even tell anybody that you're planning to leave. Just get out of there, right? I feel like you're in this like this cusp. The people that get to leave, maybe all of you, you're in this cusp of like things getting so much better for you, but it's just going to take that little push of like behavioral differences in yourself. So like if you leave, that's going to take a leap of faith, finding a new place, but then you'll find all this like solitude and it'll be great, right? For those that have to stay, your guides are saying to take a leap of faith into doing something different than how you did it before. Being selfish, not getting involved, maybe spending 2 weeks not talking to anyone at all and just seeing what happens. I used to do that when I was very involved in a community group. Every once in a while I would just disappear. And they would be like, oh my gosh, she's isolated. Oh no, what's going on with Miriam? And it's like, I was just taking a break, because if I would have stayed and not had my little interludes of time away from them, they would have dragged me into that drama, right? Into that, why are we doing this when everything would be fine if you and you would just shut the F up, right? Like if you and you would just stop constantly getting into each other's business. If you and you would just stop constantly looking for problems that we don't even have yet, those kinds of energies, right? Okay. And don't look for problems. I know that's hard to do. Problems will pop up, right? So don't look for them. Okay, so Where was I? Those of you that have to stay, it's like this, like looking at things differently, like sticking to yourself. Yeah, I'll try not like to talk to people for 2 weeks. Yes, I'm remembering now. Having your own little niche of time that you carve out for yourself, some sort of sacred thing that only you do. You don't even talk to any of them about it. And that will help. Sit out for some social events if you're very social. Find sacred alone time. Don't tell people that you're planning on doing that. Just do it. Find some sacred you space, is what I'm hearing there. Okay. So now let's look into, and these are just going to be for all of you. Just pick the ones that are good. Oh my gosh. So many of them just fell. One of them, I can't read it, so it doesn't count. Okay. The rest of them are face down. So we're just going to get them from these. Sorry. I like tether myself to my couch this way. Speak it into existence. So some of you, your guides are saying to say what you want, make it happen, just do it, right? Yeah, loosen your grip. Not everybody is going to ever do what you want them to do. You know what I mean? We all have free will. I know I said this before, like it's such an important thing that some of you need to remember is that we cannot control what others do. And I'm not saying you're a control freak, right? It's just that you get upset, right? When they disappoint you, rightly so. But the amount of suffering that it causes you, if there's a way that we can get you out of that, let's try, right? And one of those ways is loosening your grip. It's trying to play around with the idea, can I be okay with people doing what they're going to do? Isn't there a book called Let Them that has a lot of advice about that stuff in it? I can't imagine you would need to read a whole book. Just like, let them. That's all you had to read, you know. Transformation is on the horizon. Yes, especially for some of you that are going to leave, right? For some of you, like, that are in a committed relationship and you're going to let go and actually stop worrying, maybe. For those of you who are watching somebody else move on and you're just going to let that happen and see what's on the horizon for you because you're the main working character, right? Yes, the opportunity is approaching. Okay. Let's get one more. Oh, well then, I guess that's that, isn't it? Okay. I feel like I'm forgetting to do something. Oh, I was going to channel some names. Let me try. I might need some tarot cards. I might need to shuffle and throw some cards out while I do that. Okay. Brandon, Derek, Gary. Patricia, Patty, Patrice, Paige. And this could be like you, them, anybody that's involved in these situations, etc. It could even be just one of these random coworkers that we were talking about earlier. Schooner. Praise Jeep. Somebody might work in a bank. Somebody might work in a flower or floral. There might be a lot of floral things around them at the place where they work or where you work. Some people might work near or on the water. Like, I've seen yachts. Somebody might work in a bar or be a bartender or own a bar or waitress in a bar. Wait in a bar. My apologies. Seeing the last name Hart. I'm seeing the name Eilish. I know there's Billie Eilish, right? But maybe some of you like Billie Eilish. But Eilish is also a first name. Okay, what else? Some of you might have tattoos. Somebody might be a tattoo artist. Somebody might hang around tattoo artists. One of you might be a tattoo artist. There's something about a gingerbread house that's significant to some of you. Maybe the house you live in is like a gingerbread house, or you like to eat them. I was a gingerbread house devourer as a child, as long as, like, especially the chewy walls. Very important to me. There's something about rainbows. So either you like rainbows, you've seen a rainbow, there's something about a rainbow, about this connection, LGBTQ stuff, whatevs. Oh. Douglas, did I say that already? Skara. I feel like it's like a foreign name, like maybe Indian, and I'm not saying it right. Skara. Sorry. Those mermaids are showing too much. Sinead, Sasha, Zuhara. I'm seeing crowns. Some of you might have like crown logos or things around you. Somebody looks like Jesus. Maybe somebody believes in Jesus or has a picture of Jesus, or maybe somebody does like look like Jesus and people tell them that, or they tell you that. Rochelle, Rocky, Rose, Rosa. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Some of you might live in the country or work with animals, and yeah, water, something about the water, being by the water. Okay, well, overall, I hope this was helpful. It was a lot of information, so thank you for sticking with me this long if you did. If this is helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well if you'd like to book a private reading with me. There are ways to do so in the description box, my friends. I'll see you next time. Bye, 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 bye. Yeah. Hello, group 3. So if you picked this little heart, let's go ahead and get going. Let me get my earbuds in. I apologize for the earbuds. I don't like the way they sound, but I have to do it this way because if I get a call, I won't hear it if I don't have them in. Okay, so anyway, your card is the Hydra and your word is struggle. So you've been struggling with something. I feel like some of you have been struggling with a person that has like a lot of different personality types, or that you're in a lot of different places right now. That's definitely something that's coming through right off the bat. Interesting. Let's read a little bit about the Hydra, shall we? Let's pull up some info. So this person or people or you could be water signs. There could be somebody here involved that's a water sign. That's one thing that we need to keep in mind. This symbolism of Hydra can represent like a huge problem that just gets worse and worse if you don't take care of it. So, because remember, if you cut the head off the Hydra, like one grows in its place, and then pretty soon it just has a bunch of heads and it just keeps coming at you. It started out with just one. So I'm feeling some addiction vibes. I'm feeling some, just a moment. So like definitely like it's yeah, like a situation that just keeps getting worse. And like I feel like some people that are watching this pile are like you feel like you've dug yourself into a hole. So maybe like you're dealing with um addiction or like spending issues or like money issues where it's like maybe you don't have a spending issue but you just can't make enough money to like keep up on everything and everything just keeps getting worse. So like maybe you invested in some things that are not going well or like that kind of energy is definitely coming through with the Hydra. What else can we learn from the Hydra? I'll look at some more stuff. So it's like, to kill the Hydra, you had to like kill it from a certain source point. I think like whether it was its heart or whatever, or its original head. I don't know. Anyway, I don't remember. It's like, killing something at its source, because if you just keep dealing with the, like if a fire, if you're shooting at the base, then you're going to kill the fire sooner than if you were to try to spray all over out here. Okay. Enough of my awful analogies. They're so terrible. Let's find out who you are and who the people are in this situation. And we might get some ideas about what this situation actually is. Although the guides have been vague about those to this point. It's more about who you guys are and how it's affecting you guys. But we'll see what they say for you. Show me group 3, please. Okay. Show me the people involved in this situation with group 3. It's a lot of people involved, which makes the stress feel even higher. Okay. Well, let's look and see. Yeah, masks, wearing lots of masks. If you're like addicted or you're, in financial crisis and you're not telling anybody, or you're in any kind of crisis and you're not telling anybody, things snowball and you start like having to put on all these different masks. Like, I'm fine. Everything's fine. There's nothing to worry about. It's just a normal day. I'm the one that changed, not everybody else. So I need to keep a straight face on because I don't want anybody to find out. And nurture. Yeah, I feel like some double life vibes. I feel like maybe some of you are a family person, but you have a double life going on of some kind that you're not telling your loved ones about. And you're having to wear all these masks, and not even just to like your loved ones at home, like to like people at work, maybe even. And it's like, it's very isolating. It could be crime related. It could be like, yeah, it could be crime or something that could get you in a lot of trouble. That is a struggle, group 3. Let's find out who else is involved. I feel the pressure. We have up a tree. So I feel like, oh, hang on, let's just look. Kitten senses. Playtime. Paranoia. Okay, yeah. Cosmos. And justification. Okay, so I wasn't sure at first, but now I am. I feel like this person here, whether this is you or your person, there might be a switcheroo going on, but just in case, and I should have said that earlier on, if there's a switcheroo, just switch them. But I feel like there's like multiple partners going on here. Like you have like the partner who's paranoid. That might be like the main partner, the person that is like the most, there we go. Has the most to worry about, has the most say over you or over them, vice versa. And they sit and worry, like about where have you been? What have you been up to? What's going on, right? I'll get to these ones in a second. This one feels like a partner, like someone that's being seen on the side. Um, and they're just like the person you have fun with, and like they're worried all the time. Kids are involved. I feel like these represent kids. So like if it's not like infidelity, if it's addiction, this could be like somebody in your life who's very paranoid. They might be paranoid about what you're doing. You might be paranoid about what they're doing, etc. But there's somebody that's like being watched very closely. And then somebody that is like your play person, somebody that you go and hang out with. And then there's kids involved. And that adds to the stress. And one is up a tree. So it's almost like one is acting out and one isn't acting out, but you can tell they know more about what's going on than what you would like them to know. Especially if there's like, remember we talked about like crimes? I'm sorry, I don't know what that word in that tree says, but I'll hold it up to you so that maybe you can see what it says. And if anybody figures out what it says, tell me in the comments section. So anyway, yeah, it's like one kid knows and the other one is kind of out in the wind already. Like you're already starting to wonder if this is affecting them. If like the lifestyle or whatever it is, you know, is affecting them in some way. And somebody else is paranoid about that too. And then somebody that just is someone to have fun with. And then these two, I feel like one of these is like a friend or a family member, somebody who kind of eggs you on or justifies what's going on. Like they like tell you everything's okay. If it's like a reverse situation, the person might be justifying their own behavior, or they have somebody that sort of justifies their behavior. And then Cosmos, this feels like somebody else who also sees right through you. But they're still like your friend. They're still there for you. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say this definitely feels like some kind of double life. If it's not adultery, it feels like illegal or money related. Lots of having to hide how you feel and having to hide what's going on and hiding how bad or how out of control the situation may or may not be. That's a lot of pressure, group 3. My goodness, it's so much pressure. I almost called you group 4. I'm just kidding. Trying to make things lighter. Okay, let's see. I just want you to be able to see your cards before I cover them up with other cards. Oh, to heck with it. That's what's going to happen anyway. Okay, so anyway, that is a big struggle. Lots of stress. Okay, so let's look and see how it's going to be resolved. I'm going to warn you now, you know, with like heavy energy like this, not everyone's going to hear what they want to hear maybe. So always keep that in mind before you ask. Okay. Okay. How is this situation going to be resolved for the people that this is about money? Okay. They're showing overcoming the challenge in some way. And 3 of Cups. And the King of Cups. Okay. So basically, if this is about money, your guides are basically saying that the way this situation is going to be resolved is that you need to kind of come clean to somebody you trust, 2 or 3 people that you trust even. For some of you, that's very close, like friends. Like friends that have been through rough times with you. I'm seeing like military, rough neighborhood, people that you got into trouble with, people you went to jail with, whatever, you know, like it feels like, you know, ride or die kind of people, whether that's like family members or friends or associates, whatever, what have you. It's feeling like they're going to come to the rescue and help you in some way. And you're going to have to open up and be vulnerable and tell them what's going on. That could just be your family. You know, if I'm having money issues, the one person I have to talk to is my partner, because that's the first person that's going to be impacted by any financial mistakes that I've made, right? And so, you know, besides myself, right? It's not like telling our cats about it's going to help. Wouldn't that be nice? You're like, I'm having financial problems, Whiskers, and Whiskers just goes out and just brings you home a whole satchel full of money. Wouldn't that be nice? Everybody would like cats then. Okay. So that's what I'm getting for the financial thing. Like the solution is there. It's just going to take you actually asking somebody for some help. If they don't know who these people are, Spirit, how can they find the people that are going to help them? Your guides will bring them to you. Excellent. Okay. So I'm going to snatch these up, and then we're going to look at the other storylines in the spread here. Spirit, can we see how this situation is going to be resolved for the people who are dealing with addiction? Okay. Page of Swords. Ten of Cups. Brain work. Four of Pentacles. And Ace of Swords. Okay. So what I'm seeing here is your guides are basically telling you that to make yourself comfortable before you, because I feel like a lot of you have not told anyone that you're addicted to something. And guys, this could be addicted to anything. It could be food, pornography, friggin' shopping, cocaine, marijuana, alcohol, whatever, right? If you have an addiction and things are getting out of control, you know, things are getting out of control. So you might be kind of in the same group as the money people a little bit, and vice versa. Your guides are showing you basically, and oh yes, don't run away, because I have more messages for everyone. So don't run away after your little timeline or your little storyline here for your individual situations gets unwrapped. And there might be messages in here for you still that I might not pick up on. Okay. Doing some research before you reach out for help is a good way to go. There's so much information on the internet about addiction of all kinds. Get on Reddit and talk to some people, you know, make yourself a little alias and get on there and get some information, right? Hear some nitty gritty, read some nitty gritty comments and stories from people, and just kind of get a sense of where you can go. There's a couple of things that I want to make clear that have popped into my mind, because a guide is obviously like wanting somebody to hear this. If you're not into like Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, or the like traditional help that there's, you know, psychology, or the help that's out, the traditional help that's out there, there are other helps. There are other way more creative ways to get support now because of all the different studies people have done and how much people have realized that different people, different strokes for different folks, right? So just don't give up on that idea of finding your people, finding your support, okay? Because it's out there. It just might be in a different form for some of you than like the traditional support groups. But give them a try. If there's a group that you go to where you're like, F this, and you leave, go to a different one and see what they do. See if they're cooler, you know? There's all different kinds, online, offline, it doesn't matter. So like do your research, spy a little bit, be covert, right? You can still keep your secret for a while. And then your guides are saying to tell somebody you trust. They're saying to save your money right now as much as you can, because sometimes these recovery things can get expensive. You might want to look into financial help. All right. And the main thing is just to be honest with yourself, be honest with the people you reach out to, but do your research first. Figure out exactly how you feel about what's going on with you. Okay. How do you feel about do you want to call yourself an addict? Do you want to call yourself something else? Is this just an addiction to something, or does it stem from some other thing, like a trauma that you're trying to numb? Right? Is this, you know, are you going to go the traditional route, or are there free options? And, you know, I mean, there's traditional options that are free as well. Sorry. But, you know, are you going to go the traditional route, or are you going to go this way? Are you going to pay for rehab, or are you just going to like go to meetings and see, you know, because those are free, etc. and so forth. Just really get creative. Message me if you need. I'm always there to help if you need. Okay. So you can email me. And honestly, if it's just like, hey, I'm, you know, addicted and I'm looking for some help for me or somebody I know, I can give you resources. I know some things. We need them for where I work, and I also need them personally. So hang in there. All right. We're going to move on to the next group, being honest with yourself about what's going on. And it doesn't have to be like how everybody else is honest with themselves. Okay. This is your own little unique fun journey. Fun. All right. Let's go ahead and look at the, there's some kind of adultery or cheating going on. How is the situation going to be resolved? I assume there's going to be quite the mix. Yeah, somebody could find out and leave. That's always a possibility. Why are these girls always so sneaky? Three of Cups. You dirty birdies. Ugh. Oh, right. They got little booties and fronts too. Hussies. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Anywho, I feel like you two people that keep track of all this call us hussies when they watch our channels. Okay. Hussy of Babylon. Look at those little Nikki girls on her tarot card. Some of you are going to continue on doing what you're doing. You've been getting away with it this long, so why would you stop, right? So like, as long as somebody doesn't find out, some of you are like, I'm fully just going to keep doing what I'm doing until I get caught. Some of you might make it to old age without getting caught. But what will it cost you inside? Maybe nothing. It depends on how it affects you inside. If you don't feel any guilt, then it probably wouldn't affect somebody that much. If you do have guilt, it might affect you a lot. If somebody finds out, it's going to affect everything. Right? If the situation is reversed and somebody, like, you're the one that's being cheated on maybe, or lied to, or whatever, your guides are showing that, like, you know, it's kind of up to you if you want to leave, or they'll stay with you until you're both old and gray, but they're probably always going to keep doing what they're doing. So, like, at what cost? They're always going to keep doing what they're doing. But those are your two roads you have to choose. Okay. Spirit. Can you show the people who are going to stay with somebody who is cheating? What is that going to look like for them? Yeah, it's going to kind of be about them, you know, like, you'll still be with them and you'll still have a place to be, a person to call your own, sort of, you know, but like, they're always going to be kind of at a higher seat than you, especially if you're not cheating too, because, you know, I feel like the vibe I'm getting here is that they're not okay with you doing it, but they can do it, right? And then vice versa. If you are the one who is with multiple people, your guides are showing that, like, if they were to stay with you and not find out, like, things would probably be okay, you know, like, I'm not seeing like a ton of horrible things happening other than like guilt or feeling, remorse for what you did. But I mean, that would be the most ideal situation for somebody if they didn't have that guilt feeling. So you might never get caught. That's one of the things that's being shown there. Those of you who are the one who is being cheated on, what would it look like if you left? Yeah, you guys are saying save your money in case you decide to do that regardless. But people would help you. You would find resources to help you out in that situation. And things would be okay. And like it kind of shows you going out, being single, having fun, etc. Those of you who cheated, what will it look like for you if somebody finds out and leaves? So, like, some of you would kind of like... Boink. Some of you would kind of like... oh, what am I saying? Like greener grass or like pedestal the partner that leaves you. And being like, oh, now that they're gone, I don't know what I'm going to do, kind of energy, like pedestaling them. But I see you still like reaching out and being with multiple people. Like, I feel like that's a thing that you're into. So, if that one doesn't change, then likely you're going to keep doing the same thing until you can't anymore. And so the situation won't really resolve in that regard. When we're looking at how's the situation going to resolve, I think some of you just wanted to know, am I going to get caught or am I going to get away with this forever? Well, some of you are and some of you aren't, so it's like it's hard with a general reading to know for sure. And so, you can always call me for a private reading. We can look into your situation and see what could happen there. If you want me to start a Patreon where I go deeper, we can do that. Let me know in the comment section, okay? But let us move on. I want to get some more collective messages for everybody and channel those here with these. And we're just going to get, a little spread of them across there. And then we're also going to channel some names and some characteristics of people just for some extra confirmation. Inquire with spirit. Yeah. Definitely be checking in with your creator and your guides and just being like, I'm in a situation. They're not going to judge you. It's just like, where do I go from here? What all should I be doing? Like, always listen to your creator and your own intuition and your own guides more carefully than you listen to even somebody that you're paying for like a personal reading, because you're going to feel more than we do. We do our best. And some people do amazing jobs. Even me sometimes. But you're always your best oracle. I can't remember who I heard say that. It was a tarot reader just like this. So I'll pick a card reader. You're veering off path. Yeah, there should be some fair warnings in here because of the situation. So don't worry. I'm not lecturing you. It's not about me. Stop ruminating. Okay. What else? Take it to the altar. Pray, baby, pray. Yeah, I'll go ahead and stop. I feel like they're just going to keep repeating themselves. The stop ruminating one is interesting. I want to talk about that one for a minute. Like the idea of ruminating is like, and this goes really, really important for people that are in, because I feel like no matter what the situation is here, like if you've got money problems, if you've got addiction problems, if you've got adultery problems, somebody messed up along the line of like moderation. We lost control of it somehow. The Hydra took over. A lot of times we ruminate on things that can keep us in those cycles longer. So that's something to remind yourself about. Like for example, when you get into an argument with your significant other, is that like an excuse you use to go find somebody or go call somebody to hook up or whatever? Do you use it as an excuse to go get drunk? Do you use it as an excuse to go shopping? Do you use a fight that you had as an excuse to shop and make things better by shopping? Those kinds of things. So ruminating is something that needs to stop. think about how you ruminate. What do you ruminate on? How does it affect your everyday life? How does motion sickness affect you? Because I know I just gave myself some. All right, let's channel some names and some characteristics. For some reason, me flipping cards helps. It doesn't really matter what cards I flip. Sean. Patricia. Patrice. Interesting. I got Patricia and Patrice in the last group, I think. Alan. Walter. Abel. Clark. There's another. It feels like a foreign name that starts with a P. And foreign, by foreign, I mean to me. Sounds Indian, and I can't even enough to even be able to say it. I'll just butcher it up. I can't even spell it right. Portia. When somebody was younger, they felt like a pariah. If you don't know what that means, then that wasn't your message. Okay, let's see what else. Evie, Ava, Eva, Eddie. For some reason, the word Eskimo popped into my head. I know that's not a name. Hank, Hannah, Hubert, Hugo. I'm hearing the word histamine. Somebody might have allergies. Hanukkah, Honora. Sorry, some of those can be, Honora can be a last name or a place maybe. But don't quote me on that because I've never heard of a place called Honora, but Husky, maybe somebody has a dog. Or maybe somebody's big, or like they said, you're described as husky perhaps, or they are. Hubert. I think I said that already. Okay. Sybil. Serena. Somebody has a cat. Bird, somebody that people call Bird or Birdie. Maybe your last name is Bird. Something about dishes. Maybe somebody's dishes are stacked up. I know mine are. You know why? Because it's my turn. That's why. Okay. Some of you are blonde. Some of you are black haired. Some of your people are blonde or have black hair. Something about Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day. I am filming this in February, but interesting. Okay. Other things. Somebody might be into lighting candles. Somebody's last name might be Cross. Or there might be something about crosses in you that you like. Some of you might have a Catholic background. Some of you might have a vase that looks like this. Some of you might like big pretzels. Or your people might. Some of you have this symbol on something. Some of your zodiac signs are here. I don't know all these because I'm not a huge zodiac person. It looks like Scorpio's here. I only know that one because it's mine. Sagittarius. Probably Libra, maybe. I don't know. Gemini. I don't know what those two are. And I'm on the fence about that one. So look them up, I guess. Okay. Osha, Ophelia. Osi. Honora. Man, I hear things twice. That sucks. Om is coming to mind. Some of you might be into that chakra, like Om meditation. Onyx. Ostera. That's coming up season holiday wise. Ostera. Some of you might practice Celtic holidays for esoteric purposes. Some of you had a sad father who has passed. I'm hearing New York. Russell. Lily. The flower and the name. Chrysanthemums. The flower, not the name. Anybody out there named Mums? Wouldn't that be a fun name to have? And some of you might have tattoos on your hands, or your people might have tattoos on your hands, and some of you might like sunflowers. Rachel. Okay, I'm going to quit. All right. This was helpful. Tell me on the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box, my friends. I wish you all the best, and we shall see you next time. I mean it, if you need numbers or resources on how to get help for addiction, please drop me a line. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hi, Group 4. So your card that you picked is very interesting. You picked Algoi Korkoi. And that is a fire animal. Just so you know. So some of you might be a fire sign. One of those is Aries. I don't know the rest. And I apologize for that. You picked the Howlite heart. I don't know much about Howlite. It's very light. Almost feels like plastic, but not quite. And the word is virulence. Virulence is like, what do you want to call it? It's like the effects of poison. Am I saying that right? Google, help me out here. Virulence. Okay. Yeah, the severity or harmfulness of disease or poison or a bitter hostility or rancor. You guys might want to check out group 1, depending on what the situations end up being in this group. Maybe, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't want to do that too much. I did that last group and then I had to go in a whole different direction. And I know someone's going to give me heck for that in the comments. I know they will. Okay. So some kind of thing that like a situation or a person just poisoned everything. You know, like these things poison, like they just like spray poison at you. It's an old Chinese mythological creature that lives in the desert, and apparently like people that lived in that area were so scared of these things for real back in the day that they wouldn't even speak their name. I just spoke it. And I live in a desert. What am I going to do? I guess I'm not in China, so maybe I'll be okay. Anyway. Not only does this thing poison everybody, it serves no other purpose but to terrify and destroy. And it does look like the Beetlejuice snake, does it not? That thing didn't serve any purpose but to terrify and destroy, if I recall. So yeah, good times. Okay. He just like hangs out outside the house, then eats you if you try to leave. No, what am I doing? I need more oracle cards first. So I want to find out about you. Who is group 4? Complicated. That's who you are because you got 3 cards instead. Just 2. Who is involved? Yes or no, Spirit? I need to know. Take them and we'll look at them later. Okay. Jeez Louise, fine. Okay. And these are the tarot cards we're going to use. So I'm going to get them back on top here. And let's look and see what's going on with you. I'm going to get these all at once. Release. Labyrinth. What a cute little cat. And Twinned Souls. Speaking of cute cats, Lily is here to join us. She's sitting right in front of me, being all cute and such. Looking like a cute little kitty. Yes, indeed. Love me some Lily. Oh, my lordy. Okay. Let's see here. I feel like you want released from this situation. I feel like you're very confused and stuck up, all up in it, whatever it is. And some of you, it has to do with a relationship, somebody that you care about, or somebody that you cared about at some point, somebody that you at least believed at one time was your soulmate, or perhaps you still believe they're your soulmate. Somebody dusted you all with some poison or something, some situations. Let's find out what that is. Tea time and inner monster. Interesting. Okay. For some of you, gossip took place and helped hurt the situation more than it already needed to be. Somebody's inner monster came out. I feel like your soulmate's inner monster came out. Those of you that are like into this for like a love thing, I think rumors made the situation worse or started the situation to become bad or whatever. And I feel like maybe some addiction vibes, that this person has a dark side, whether that's like addiction fueled or just in general. And that part came out and like it got really contentious, like really fast. Like I feel like you saw a completely different side to this person. Like 100%. And it shattered everything, and now you're lost in this maze of sadness and shock and not feeling too good. All right, so let's see who else is involved in this situation. We have weaving, playtime, oh dear, starlight. What is that? And masks. I feel like these are the gossipers. These are the people that helped the situation get worse. Their involvement. I feel like some people said something to you that they shouldn't have. Some people said something to this person that they shouldn't have. They were all conversing with each other and spreading things along and made things worse. This person doesn't seem as bad as the rest, but the rest is just like one, it's just kind of a two-faced person. One is like a spinster type, and then the other is like, oh, this is fun. You know, this sort of thing is fun to me. I'm just going to stack them up because I don't like looking at them anyway. This seems to be the main person you're worried about anyway. The situation seems to be between you and this person, and these guys just made it worse by talking. And so Yes. I do feel some infidelity or like substance abuse, violence, perhaps even. Very shocking, abrupt, heinous behavior coming from the person that you thought you knew, the person that you thought was your soulmate. If they did anything physical, you know what I'm going to say, right? You can get in touch with me. I'll get you some numbers. Okay, or you can Google some numbers and find some help for yourself. Call 988 to get started. It's free. They'll help you. What is the situation, Spirit? So some infidelity, some like lying. Yeah, like a big, huge change from like a bright future. Like a flipperoo. And now you're like, yeah, you're feeling very guarded, and as well you should. Like, especially if it was like physically dangerous for you, and that's scary. How is this situation going to be resolved, Spirit? And I do feel that infidelity. But yeah, just basically a huge shift in character. I don't want to go too far into detail because I don't want to get us in trouble. How will this situation be resolved? How will this situation be resolved? Yeah, I know. So, bottom line, you have to tell somebody, you guys, you can't deal with this all by yourself. Even if it's just calling 988, that would be somebody, okay? So just please, please, please don't sit there and sit with this on your own. I feel like that's part of why you reached out to get a reading, is because you are going through it and this is hard and people have made it worse. And those are people around you that made it worse. So it's like, I can feel like you, possibly some of you do not have a place to turn, or it feels like it. So call 988, call, Google the country that you're in if you're not in the United States or Canada, and Google what's, the national crisis line for my country, and you'll find people. They know exactly who to get you in touch with. It's free. They'll spend all the time in the world with you to help you. If they don't, try a different one, etc. Get on Reddit and see what people say on Reddit. Be careful. People say mean things on the internet, but you can get some helpful information if you kind of duck around and look. That was a message that came up in one of the other piles, that they were dealing with addiction more on a personal level. And you can do that too. Like, what kind of help is there for people who are relatives of people who are dealing with addiction, or people who are abusive, etc., and so forth. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at some overall messages for any of you. And by all means, yes. I think that's a specific answer to something somebody was asking. I feel like it was something along the lines of, well, what, should I call the police or something? And if you think somebody's going to hurt you, by all means, yes. Like, one of the things that, and I'm not saying that's the message for everyone or that one person, but here's the thing. If you're wondering if this person's going to hurt you, this is the answer I always give to people when they ask. Yes, the answer is yes. Okay, and I don't care what my cards say or what I've seen in my experience or blah, 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 blah. Every single one of us has the capability to hurt somebody else, even to the point of unaliving them, just under the right stressors and strain and combination of factors. That is something I believe is true of all of us. Just like I feel like it's true that every person has it in them to cheat under the right circumstances, I feel like everybody has it in them to unalive. So if you ever have that question in your mind, just say, yes, under the right circumstances, maybe they could. And then adjust accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Protect yourself. But if you just had a quick thought that you were thinking a yes or no question, then there is an answer for you. Loosen your grip. You need to take care of you. You know, like you can't control what these other people are going to do. And so taking care of you and whoever you're responsible for, like if you have kids, step back and reevaluate. Yeah, be covert, do some research, see what your options are. Cast that spell. Yeah. I always say before doing any physical action, cast a spell. Absolutely. See what happens. Unless you're in physical danger. If you're in physical danger, you need to be getting help more immediately than what we're talking about here. Okay? Just making sure that we're clear. Your magic is potent. Yeah, so cast that spell. This might be the chance you get to realize how magical you are, my friends. Okay. Well, let's channel some names and some situations, maybe just some clarifiers, some more that you're in the right group. Peter. Sean. Rick. Ramona. Reseda, that's a place. We talked about China, so that might be Nick. Nancy. Netherlands. Nitrous oxide. What is that all about? Maybe some of you work with that at work. Like you fill up balloons or something. I don't know. Where did that come from? Soap. Specialty. Maybe some of you have a specialty or you're a specialist in something, or they are. Mystery. Mysterious. Miserable. Aw. Mount. Okay. Maybe a mount something. Maybe there's a mountain nearby, or there's something you do where you mount things. Promiscuous. Percival. Promenade. Paw prints. Somebody might have a nickname for a pet or a child, monkey, or maybe that was a nickname of your own or somebody you know. Mikey, Michelle, Veronica, Patrick, Shannon, Parker, Glenn, Gustavo, Jerusalem, Juniper, Joshua, Jones, Josiah, Jasper, Jessica. Jeez. Brittany, Bob. Basic. Something about basic. Maybe somebody's in basic training. Brandish. Brandy. Bristol. Bristol Babe. Bristol might be a name. Broadcast. I'm not needing cards for you guys as much. Relationship. Rascal. Rosa. Rosacea. Somebody might have rosacea or know somebody who does. Parker. I said Parker already. Paul. Postal Service. Postman. Yeah, the name Paige came up before too, but Paige, Wanda, key. I heard her key before. Rustin. Rusty. What's the other one that's short for rust, that Rusty is short for, that's not Rustin? I don't remember. Rust, Russ, Ross. Some other name that starts with an R that I can't pronounce. Rahish. I'm sorry, I tried. Rahid. I can't tell. It's like Rahi something. Rahi. Penelope. Perseus. Percival. Percy. Practical. Somebody might consider themselves practical, or they're doing a practical. Did I say Ramona? Regina? Hank, Heather. Hostel, like living in a hostel or staying in a hostel or hostility. I don't know. Hell, jeez. Humor. Chauncey. Sherry. With CH. Chastity. Sharita. Some of you could have jobs, like I was saying, like things like practical or basic. Practicum is another type of like civil service type of work, like teaching, military, police academy type things are coming into my mind. Some of you might be involved in that, or your person might be involved in that. Greece. Bahamas. India, Canada, US, Pennsylvania. Keep hearing Penelope, Persephone maybe. And that's it. I think that's all I've got. All right. If this is helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like a private reading with me, there are ways to get a hold of me in the description box. Let me know if you ever want me to do, like a Patreon someday and do deeper readings for, extended readings. That's what they're called, extended readings. Let me know in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading, there are ways to do so in the description box. All right, we said all that already. Thank you so much for being here, group 4. We shall see you next time. Take care. Ba, 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 ba.